Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome to the beginning of the week. Thanks for being with us. Great to have you here. We have a brand new bingo card as well to start the brand new week, and it'll be posted to the top of Pat Unleashed on Twitter. And when you get a bingo, either across, down, diagonally, you be the first to call 888-900-3393, and you claim your fabulous prize, which was a couple of really great prizes. $30 worth of merchandise from PatGrayShop.com and a dozen Kexi cookies. So it's a prize package, probably, I don't know, somewhere in the seven-figure area, I would guess. Yeah.
And that's because of the value. It has nothing to do with inflation.
Right. It's just because these are so valuable. Now, I didn't say where the decimal point goes, but definitely.
I see.
Definitely seven figures. All right. So anyway, we start in the upper left-hand corner with that. Me saying I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Well, that'll be today.
The day democracy almost died.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffy with good luck, God bless. Heard about it on the news?
I heard it on the news. And I said it was ridiculous, man.
One of those old standbys.
That's it.
Been there for, what, 10, 12 years probably.
Uh-huh.
So great. Keith says?
Bizarro world.
Jeffy says, business. John Fetterman.
No.
Either I or Keith ruin a feel-good story. Okay. It's almost a free square because that happens every day. I use my wife's glasses, which look a little something like this.
So, I mean, they look
attractive,
great,
right?
They look
thank
great.
you.
So, I just wondered if you wanted to change them. Is there a place where one could go to say get their own pair so that your wife could continue to use her?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
No. I don't know where you would find something like that.
Yeah, that's weird. You should talk to your
Talking
wife.
like a place where you get glasses? No idea.
Again, I don't know if there is such a place.
It's like the metric system. There's no way. There's no way to get new ones. I miss him like a dad starts the next row. Then we have this fabulous Bee Gees classic. You can throw out all the record books. Then we have a media buzzword montage.
That's gonna
like,
be tough.
Yeah, where they keep saying the same thing, like, what would be a good example of that? You were
I
just
am
saying
strong. I am strong.
Right?
I
am strong. I am strong.
I think we might find something that qualifies today.
Okay, good. Then fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Yes. No. Yes.
Wait, hold on. Is it yes or no?
It's both.
It's like a confused Yoda.
Then, long way to the well.
Long way to the well.
Speak some kind of song lyric. Joe is the best communicator.
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
She's a comedian.
Yeah, man. Although the weird thing about that is it might be accurate.
Yeah.
You know, because they're all so terrible in the White House. Keith says...
Oh, reference of the Overton window.
Jeffy, squared up. Don't square up on me, bro. Some form of that. Billion, 300 million, trillion.
Over $1 billion, 300 million, trillion, $300 million.
Trillion, million. So good.
It
Play
goes
that again.
on longer than the square.
Over $1 billion, 300 million, trillion, $300 million.
He adds another 300 million after what the square says.
Yeah. Wow.
Over $1 billion, 300 million, trillion, $300 million.
Okay.
Incredible. I mean, it's incredible.
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
Let's go together well, don't they? Keith says...
Oh, that's an underrated tweet.
I say, but in Europe, we're in Europe. And then some pet peeve of mine, grammar-wise, and there are many, so that'll happen soon. And China?
China's not an enemy.
Not an enemy. I mean, we all know that. So that's going to be a fun bingo card this week. Be listening for those and make sure you're the first to call in when you get the bingo. One of the phrases that can no longer be stated is this will happen before Foreigner gets into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Foreigner was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, along with Mary J. Blige.
All right. Just focus on the good.
Cher. Dave Matthews Band got in?
Uh-huh.
Did they? Yeah. I mean, it says so here. Peter Frampton got in. Cool in the Gang. Come on. Alexis Corner. I'm not familiar with Alexis Corner.
I'm not either.
Anybody know who that is? John Mayall. MC5. Ozzy Osbourne. This is a big class.
Yeah.
Suzanne DePass. Or is it Passe? I don't know who Suzanne is either. Big Mama Thornton. I don't know why we haven't been on her crusade forever. Big Mama Thornton hadn't been in the Rock Hall of Fame until now.
Wow, we found a bigger travesty than Foreigner.
Didn't we, though? Man, if Big Mama Thornton's not in there, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be part. A Tribe Called Quest. Come on. Dionne Warwick. And then Norman Whitfield.
Oh, nice.
Don't know Norman either.
Don't either. Lenny Kravitz missing from that list.
Kravitz could, yes. He could easily, especially when you got this group. I mean, Foreigner and Peter Frampton makes sense. Dave Matthews Band, I'm not a big fan, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. Ozzy Osbourne definitely makes sense. I think he's already in there with Black Sabbath, right?
Yep.
So he's in there twice. Jimmy Buffett, though. Did we mention Jimmy Buffett got in? He's for some kind of exceptional... Some of these were not inducted as performers. They were inducted for something else.
Yeah, like...
There's a bunch of different categories.
Yeah.
So, that's a big class, though. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 people got in this year. But our work has finally come to fruition on the Foreigner front. What have we been battling that for a decade at least?
At least.
Maybe 15 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah, Tommy James and the Shondells better be next year's class.
We gotta hit that guy up again because it worked so well this year. Let's try it again for this coming class. Because Tommy James and the Shondells should be there. Should definitely be there. Over the weekend, Congress did what they do. They passed things they know you don't like. So the FISA extension made it through the Senate. In the House, funding for Ukraine and other foreign entanglements got through the House. Isn't that great? So we're all set now. They did okay the gigantic spending bills. Almost $61 billion for Ukraine. $61 billion more. And in the very article I was reading about its passage, they mentioned Biden is already putting together another one for another vote. Because he's trying to keep up with, the pace of the war and the fact that they don't have all the armaments they need, and we've got to replenish and make up for lost time. And so that's what they're doing right now.
We already know from Seymour Hersh's reporting. I mean, we've been musing on this for 2 years now, that check the bank accounts.
Yeah.
I want you to check Zelensky. I want you to check his wife. I want you to
Joe
check
Biden.
Members of parliament. Check Joe Biden. Check all these officials. We
Hunter
know that the CIA director has already told Zelensky, we know 35 of your buddies have been getting they can account for $400 million that have gone from you, the taxpayer in the United States of America, to Volodymyr Zelensky's pals. And he only fired 10 of them. And yet here we are, the Congress authorizing billions upon billions more. I mean, this is grotesque.
And we just had that story that his generals and advisors are buying beach homes all over the world.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, great. You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's
for your extravagant gifts.
It's criminal for
criminal.
them to do this.
So bad.
It's more criminal for your elective representatives to enable this, especially when they know what's happening over there.
When they knew going in, this is one of the most corrupt governments on earth. And that was widely discussed before we started, paying for everything in their lives. So we got the $61 billion to Ukraine, $26 billion more for Israel, $8.12 billion for Taiwan and other Pacific islands. Where does it end? The whole package was $95 billion. And they're already talking about more.
Yeah, but
it's never enough.
It's okay, because Pathead James pointed out that this package requires the president to enter into an agreement with Ukraine regarding repaying the United States for the economic assistance it has provided.
Sure, that'll happen.
Does that not smell like shall build the wall?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, my gosh.
Stop.
There's just no chance.
No, not at all.
Just no stinking way.
Did you see the CNN headline about Mike Johnson? You got to see this. Mike Johnson, after the vote, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, by passing Ukraine aid, Johnson became an unlikely Churchill.
Okay.
All right.
All righty. Oh, man. Did you see that, who is it? It's Ro Khanna. Democrat Ro Khanna has promised that he's going to put a stop to any effort to remove Mike Johnson. That tells you how good he's been. When the Democrats are going to table the discussion of replacing him immediately. So, yeah, he's doing a great job. He's been perfect. Practically perfect. Over the weekend, so here was Democrat Congressman Gerald Connolly talking about all of this.
Some say, well, we have to deal with our border first. The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border. It's the border between depraved autocracy and freedom-loving people seeking our democratic way of life. Do we have a stake in that outcome? Yes. Undeniably, yes.
Undeniably.
I love how he opens that remark there. Just play that first moment there again. Just 5 seconds of it. First 5 seconds.
Some say, well, we have to deal with our border first.
Yeah,
the Ukrainian-Russian border
say. Crazy, right?
Our border.
Oh, wow. No, that's not accurate, my friend.
Crazy people say we should worry about the U.S. border first, because crazy people say we're the U.S. Congress, and that's what we should be worried about.
You can't make this stuff up.
No.
No. Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't happy about it.
You see, the United States taxpayer has already sent $113 billion to Ukraine, and a lot of that money is unaccounted for. This is a continuance of a sick business model that the American government continues. The federal government continues to fund the military-industrial complex, and this is a business model that requires Congress to continue to vote for money, to continue to fund foreign wars, and this is a business model the American people do not support. They don't support a business model built on blood and murder and war in foreign countries, while this very government does nothing to secure our border. The American people are over $34 trillion in debt, and the debt is rising by over $40 billion every single night while we all sleep. But yet nothing is done to secure our border or reduce our debt. Inflation has driven out of control. Americans are suffering every single day. They can hardly afford their grocery bills. They can hardly afford gas in their car. They can hardly afford rent. And now mortgage payments are well over $3,000, where they were only just over $1,700 3 years ago. The youngest generation, young adults, don't even think they're going to be able to buy a home in their lifetime. And today in Congress, the most important thing that this body thinks should be done is to send another $61 billion to a war in Ukraine that the American people by 70% do not support. Mind you, this comes on the very heels of Monday being April 15th, tax day, where every single American had to scrounge up their money and send their dollars in to the IRS. Or some of them had to file extensions because they weren't ready and didn't have the money to pay their taxes. But today, this body says the most important thing we can do, is not reduce spending. That's not it. Not to do anything to drive down inflation. Oh, no, we can't do that for the American people. It's not to secure our own border that is invaded every single day, by people from over 160 different countries. No, don't secure the American border. Let everyone in. We have over 1.8 million known gotaways. We don't know who these people are. And yet you have members of this body talking big and tough about, we have to defeat Russia. We have to protect Ukraine. But yet all of you are unwilling to protect the American citizens that pay your paycheck, pay the light bills in this building, and pay for this entire federal government.
Yeah.
For what?
That's good soliloquy there. Nice rant.
Yeah,
and she's right about all of it.
Yeah, they voted for it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. And it wasn't even close.
No.
The final vote was 311 to 112. Like 101 Republicans voted for this.
We got a list.
Bill.
Look for
we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
Here, because outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Making sure you have enough fruits and vegetables in your diet is really important for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. But it can also be kind of difficult, especially if you're busy or if you don't like vegetables, like me. The average person doesn't even eat half the recommended servings in a day. That's a huge gap in nutrition. And inflation has seriously increased the cost of fruits and vegetables. That's why Balance of Nature provides an on-the-go solution. And they haven't raised their prices for 10 years. Their proprietary blend of 31 fruits and vegetables come in easy-to-swallow capsules and will give your body so much of the nourishment it needs. Imagine trying to eat 31 different kinds of produce in a single day. It's virtually impossible, but that's what you're getting with Balance of Nature, with the fruits and veggies. When you go to balanceofnature.com, you'll get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets with your first order as a preferred customer by using my discount code, PAT. That's limited to 5 sets, but you'll save a ton of money while getting the fruits and vegetables you need in your diet. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use the promo code PAT for 35% off. That's balanceofnature.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So after the vote, the 311 to 112 vote that passed all of that money going elsewhere, like we don't need it. We don't need it.
No.
Like we even have it to begin with, because we don't.
That's true.
So after the vote, Democrats celebrated and waved Ukrainian flags. What a moment. What a beautiful moment. Right, because Ukraine first.
Feels like treason. A little treason-y right there. Waving another nation's flag on the floor of our Congress?
Treason-y, treasonist, just a bunch of traitors. Seriously, you're waving a Ukrainian flag? Well, how did this happen where Democrats became such war eagles? When did that? Such incredible warmongers.
Mm-hmm. I'm so happy about
Oh my gosh. They just are so pleased with themselves that we can send yet another $61 billion of tax-paying money to another country. Clear across the planet. Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Wow. And we do have that list of the 101 House Republicans who voted to send billions of dollars overseas while we got our own problems here, especially at the stinking border. But here's a list of the reps.
101 Republicans.
That's a lot of Republicans.
Boy, look, there's no...
Don't give a rat's anus how you feel about it.
Dan Crenshaw, Steve Scalise on here. Okay.
That's kind of a surprise.
Let's see. My representative is on here, as she always is.
Yeah,
Get out. Retire. Kay Granger.
And she is, right?
Bacon. Yeah.
She is retiring.
Let's see. Bacon. No shock there. So look for yours and give them a call and tell them thank you for putting every other country on the planet above ours.
Yeah.
America last. Republican Party right now.
Unreal. Speaker Mike Johnson spoke to the press afterwards.
I don't walk around this building being worried about a motion to vacate. I have to do my job. We did. I've done here what I believe to be the right thing, and that is to allow the House to work its will.
Pause this for a second.
And as I've said...
Pause this. So he doesn't care that Marjorie Taylor Greene and others are breathing down his neck about time for you to go. But I want you to see the one question that he takes here before he walks away. I don't know if she's a Ukrainian reporter or what, but listen carefully to the question that she asks, and excuse me for not getting money to Ukraine quicker. All right.
And as I've said, you do the right thing and you let the chips fall where they may. I will continue to do that.
The world that you made a brave step, but at the same time, why it took too long for aid to Ukraine, and maybe
Are you kidding me?
Too long. Why you decided to do it right now?
Listen, the House had a lot of important work to do here. We had to get the government funded in our appropriations process. We had to reauthorize the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. We had a lot of important measures that had to be done, and we got to this as quickly as we could.
Ingrates.
This is an important matter. I think it's timely. I think you've heard from leaders around the world, including in Ukraine, that this is being done on a timely basis, and the House had to have the time to deliberate and do this in the right manner. I think we did our work here, and I think history will judge it well.
Mr. Speaker, you're being asked to resign.
The unmitigated gall that, hey, yeah, it's $61 billion. Why didn't this come sooner? This should be like our third or fourth bill this year. Why did you wait so long? I don't know, Puddin'. I don't know. Because we're just horrible people, I guess. I guess it took a few weeks longer than you wanted it to.
I swear.
My gosh.
I swear.
Seriously, can you imagine this happening in any other nation on Earth? Why didn't you send the package to America sooner? The $100 billion that they've been asking you for. So they can use that money on their border. That's what we should be doing, is badgering other countries to send us cash. Because we're broke. We don't have it. And yet we continue to spend it. And that's why inflation is out of control. That's why your retirement funds are dwindling like they are. Even if an actual number looks like it's the same or increasing, it's not keeping up with this economy. It's not keeping pace with inflation. Nope. And the devaluing of the U.S. dollar. Wow.
It sucks, man.
And then you got somebody standing there questioning you about it because it didn't happen fast enough. That's incredible. That's incredible. But he did the right thing. Good for him.
Yeah.
He put Ukraine first like we all demanded of him in the first place. You believe 70% of the American people don't want this? That's not Republicans. I mean, yes, it includes Republicans. But that can't be just Republicans.
No, it can't.
I mean, that is a lot of Democrats and independents who are fed up with this and don't want us to continue doing it. But it doesn't matter to them. Doesn't matter. You know, if this were a democracy, they would not be getting another penny because the American people are fed up, and we'd be voting against it.
Yeah.
If this was direct democracy, that's what would happen.
Do we have that? You know what, Pat? It really doesn't apply here. But I had this quote that we didn't get to last week. Put up the Alexander Tytler quote there. Full screen 7. Okay, so imagine this. This is how much of a bizarro world we're in right now. This should apply to American politicians trying to buy American votes, but somehow we're buying, Ukrainian votes? I don't understand, but check this out.
A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. I think we've read this before, but it certainly bears repeating. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy, always followed by a dictatorship. The average age of the world's greatest civilizations has been 200 years. These nations have progressed through this sequence from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to apathy, from apathy to dependence, and from dependence back into bondage.
Yeah, he wrote this before there was a United States of America, and
Brilliant.
boy, does that hold true for us.
Yeah. And that's why we talk about democracies all the time, because they don't work. And he just laid out why.
Yep.
The really short explanation of that is the definition of democracy is two sheep or one sheep and two wolves deciding what's for dinner. Let's see, the two wolves are probably going to vote, I don't know, you are. The sheep is for dinner. And that's what happens. The majority then devours the minority.
Yeah, and we've got wonderful creations such as the Electoral College here in the United States. However, did you see where the state of Maine has just said, yeah, we're going to start going with the popular vote of the nation?
A lot of states are thinking about doing that and trying to do that.
It won't be in effect this November, but I think every year after that,
man.
It's
so whoever wins the popular vote in Maine automatically.
No.
Oh, they've eliminated.
Right. That's the way it is now. No. So the way the Electoral College, as you know, is set up is that popular vote of your state, get all the electors in that state.
Yes.
Maine is saying we're taking the popular vote of the nation, and that's going to be your Maine electors. So in other words, if you vote in Maine, you don't matter to Maine.
So they just seeded the citizens of their state.
Correct.
Interesting.
Correct. So
wow.
That's
bizarre.
Probably going to go into effect in 2028, is my understanding.
Okay.
Congratulations, Maine. Your vote counts even less now than before.
Man, that is something else.
Yeah.
How did they convince Mainers? Is it Mainers?
Well, it was their legislature.
Maine-Indians?
Yeah, it wasn't. The citizens didn't get to vote.
No, I know, but how did they not revolt over that?
Fill in the blank, right? How do we not revolt over
crazy
fill in the blank in this country?
Wow.
It's
great.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
That's the word.
And that's not all the House voted on over the weekend. The House also voted Saturday to force TikTok's parent company to sell it or be banned in the U.S. So they're going ahead with this.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm no fan of TikTok, this is dangerous, dangerous territory here. And we were told that also in this bill is that they can ban other sites as well as they see fit. The administration can go ahead and just if they don't like X, they can ban X. I mean, that's what will happen. If they're allowed to do that, they will do it.
Wow. So, I mean, just think of the legacy of this Republican House.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the last few days.
Yeah.
They have voted to ban a private company. Well, you can make your argument. Ban a company from participating in this country, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have spied on Americans, continued that legacy.
Yeah, the warrantless searches continues.
And sent billions to Ukraine and other corners of the world while the problems here at home just persist. So it's good. He never knows right where to play that quack, I've noticed. Not quite on the...
Yeah, it didn't seem to necessarily fit the tone.
It's a good thing that we have Republicans in power because they're going to fix this. They're going to turn that ship around.
Sure. Because that's what they do. That's who Republicans are.
Don't you love this?
Oh, man.
It's fun.
Love the fact that you can always count on a good Republican to do exactly the wrong thing.
And you started off the show by saying, I mean, the proof is in the pudding with a Democrat representative saying, no, we like the Mike Johnson guy.
Yeah, we're going to shut down any effort to remove him. Oh, okay. Well, that tells me what a job he's doing.
Woo!
That's great.
Good stuff.
888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter and Instagram and elsewhere. Much more coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yeah! Welcome. Some tweets here, just two muck and fudge tweets. Will there be a Happy Days song to celebrate foreigners' induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's a good idea.
Oh, it is a good idea.
That's a thought. From Giblets, when do we start playing the genre-fluid music? Oh, yeah, we got to start calling it that. The Genre-Fluid Music Hall of Fame. Formerly known as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Good
That's
point.
a good point indeed.
From Bunter Hayden Crack Connoisseur, when is Taylor Swift getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It won't be before Foreigner.
That's not funny at all. When was her first release?
Yeah, it's always 25 years from their first release. They become eligible, but she'll be there. You know, she'll be there.
2031 is when... Oh, wait, no.
Is it 06?
Hang on. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Let me get back to you. I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
She'd still be very young. Let's see. Uniparty monger. I can safely say we will hardly notice when the House is handed over to the Democrats.
Was it ever handed over to the Republicans, though?
It doesn't feel that way.
Nope.
Frank Johnson's alter ego. I still like my idea of giving the government an allowance each year to work with. What would you call something like that? Oh, that's right. A budget. Which we haven't had since 2009. And if they want to send money to Ukraine, they must come to their respective districts and lobby the people to give them the money. Yeah, that'd be
Why should
nice.
they leave their districts?
Yeah, they shouldn't. They shouldn't
vote online.
Nancy's vodka-soaked dentures. Can we fund this by confiscating the wealth of any Congress member who authorized that bill? I wish.
Don't tempt me.
That would be so great. So we were talking about these two the spending for Ukraine, for Israel, for Taiwan. Then the other thing that happened was the warrantless searches were okayed again and extended again. In the Senate, they voted on it, and 30 Republican senators voted for it. 30. We should post that list, too.
Okay.
Barrasso, Boozman, Britt, Bud of North Carolina, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, of course, John Cornyn. You might notice the junior senator from Texas not on this list. Ted Cruz did not vote for this. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Mike Lee. The usual suspects. Mike Crapo of Idaho, Joni Ernst, Deb Fisher, Lindsey Graham, of course, Chuck Grassley, Cindy Hyde-Smith, John Kennedy voted for this thing.
Yeah, he's a talker.
Dang.
He is a talker.
Oh, man. James Lankford, Mitch McConnell, obviously, Jerry Moran, or some people might say Jerry Moron, Mark Wayne Mullen, Lisa Murkowski, a lot of the usual suspects. Mm-hmm. Pete Ricketts. Guess what? Mitt Romney is on this list?
Say it ain't so, Pat.
Stunning and shocking. Mike Rounds, Marco Rubio, Dan Sullivan, John Thune.
The man has the body of a Greek god. He walked into the Senate bathhouse naked as a jaybird. We made love for 14 straight hours.
That, of course, loosely quoted from the book from, what's his face?
Arlen Specter.
Arlen Specter.
Yeah.
I didn't leave this life. This life left me. I didn't leave the Republican Party. The Republican Party left me.
Tom Tillis, Roger Wicker, and Todd Young round out that list. So congratulations, everybody, for betraying your constituents.
I'm posting that right now.
All righty.
Yeah, at Keith Malinak, at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
Also on Friday, the jury for Donald Trump's hush money trial was seated. Opening statements take place today. Can't wait. Out in front of the courthouse on Friday, troubled man set himself on fire. I don't know how that helps. I really don't understand it. What a painful, terrible way to go. He did later die.
Oh, it's so bad.
Max Azzarello, clearly disturbed. He wrote a long manifesto, but he also made some video messages like this one.
No audio.
Secret in the world? In March 2023, sketchy billionaire Peter Thiel started a bank run. I did 1,500 hours of research, and I learned all their rotten secrets. The big one is that cryptocurrency is history's first planetary, multi-trillion-dollar Ponzi scheme.
Oh, no.
That's an economic doomsday device.
Don't tell me that.
When that Ponzi goes insolvent, as all Ponzis must, we'll get the worst economic collapse in world history. And every powerful person you can think of is in on it. Want to know why everything gets worse and more expensive? That's because we live in a secret kleptocracy. That's when the government
not so secret.
is taken over by con artists.
Some of this
whose
is
only
accurate.
job is to steal from the public. And I hope you know this is wonderful news. Because now that the public knows about the secret kleptocracy, they get to abolish their criminal government. Follow for more. Or read this booklet.
You read that booklet.
And you will bend history.
Oh, I want to bend history. So I read his manifesto. What do I have it here? Have you seen that thing?
I didn't. Because I haven't seen it.
He says he references Simpsons episodes, and he feels like Lisa Simpson. We can all identify with that, right?
Okay, sure.
Desperately trying to get friends, family, and the public to believe the proof of a totalitarian con. I'm trying to show them, and they've turned away with hostility, apathy, disbelief, and partisanship. So what's the next step? If you say, look, there's this episode of The Simpsons, and I feel like Lisa Simpson in it because of my family and friends won't listen to me.
Light yourself on fire.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
Logically.
Yeah.
That's
we
what you
all
do.
know that, right?
That's what you do.
CNN and other networks had cameras out front of the courthouse
This is rough.
when he set himself ablaze. Now, this is really disturbing video, even though it's partially blocked, at least by a bench. But so if you don't want your kids to look at this,
be careful.
Here it is on live TV Friday.
Oh, what do you say? We also are seeing an active shooter. An active shooter is in the park outside the court. We have a man he has set fire to himself. A man has emblazoned himself outside of the courthouse just now. Our cameras are turning right now. Geez. A man has now lit himself on fire outside of the courthouse in Manhattan where we are waiting for history to be made. A full jury panel is gone. We are watching a man who is fully emblazoned in the front of the courthouse today. We are watching multiple fires breaking out around his body and person.
And it went on for several minutes.
So originally, was she told there was a shooter?
I don't know. She just heard people panicking and stuff and just assumed that.
I guess.
Yeah, it was a panic because CNN came out and said it was. She saw people running away, so her immediate reaction was
shooter.
Active shooter.
If you do read Max's manifesto, you'll see that everything began to unravel at the 1988 Democratic Convention, when Bill Clinton was talking about Michael Dukakis. And now I have to go back and watch that speech. I think Rush used to always talk about how long that speech was because Bill Clinton loved to hear himself talk. So I don't know how long it was. But anyway, I need to go back and watch that because that's apparently the moment
the pivot point
in history
when
the corrupt of the elites really began to take over our nation. Not 1963 when they killed a sitting president.
Right, and actually performed a coup in the United States of America. A bloody coup. I'm sure it was definitely that speech.
Yeah, it wasn't
from
until
Bill Clinton.
Yeah. It's
because the nation was practically perfect up until that point. That's right.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. We all know that.
1988.
Everybody knows that.
Was when it all...
Went south fast. All right, let me take a minute to tell you about Fast Growing Trees, which is the biggest online nursery in the United States of America. More than 10,000 different kinds of plants, over 2 million happy customers. Like me, you find what you want, and then you order it, and in 1 or 2 days, it shows up with a 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee for you. Whatever you're interested in, they have it. They'll find the perfect fit for your climate and your space, like this little space that we wanted to fill in our front yard, and for the climate, which is brutal in Texas. But they know that. They understand that. So they're going to be able to lead you into what's the best fit for you. And along with their 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, they offer free plant consultation forever. Just great people. This spring, they have the best deals online, up to half off on selected plants and other deals. And listeners to this show get an additional 15% off your first purchase when you use the offer code PAT at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com. Use the promo code PAT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Also on Friday, KJP took some questions from the press. Peter Doocy, bless him, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
He did, in fact, ask her about Joe's story about the cannibals eating Uncle Bosie. Because, man, those damn cannibals in New Guinea, Papua New Guinea is just loaded with cannibals. And when he got shot down, when he was flying his plane, which he doesn't fly, and it wasn't shot down, but cannibals just looked at him like he was their next incredible meal. And they ate him. They ate him.
That sucks, dude.
I don't even know if he was dead at the time.
Oh, what a way to go.
Did they eat him alive?
Would you rather burn? Never mind.
That's fresh meat right there. So cannibals can't resist that, and they didn't. But anyway...
fell from the sky.
He fell from the sky.
It's like, wow, look at this. Manna from heaven right here on our little island.
So Doocy asked KJP, and her response, as always, is brilliant.
Oh, she was ready for it.
Yeah.
Why is President Biden saying that his Uncle Bosie was eaten by cannibals?
So, I answered this question yesterday.
Look, find
I
the page.
believe I've seen some
find the
clips
page.
on your network.
Oh,
about
you
me
watch
answering
Fox.
This question.
Oh,
I don't have much to say.
Pause it. Which is
beyond-
exactly what she said the day before. I have nothing to add. Nothing to add. No, you didn't answer the question. That's why it's being asked again. Do you have something to add now? Why is he lying about this? Listen to this response.
Yeah, she has it printed up, so she
does.
clearly has something to say about it.
Yeah. And here it
beyond
is.
what I said to some of your colleagues.
I can't.
Look, I was there. I think you traveled with us too to Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if you were there at the memorial in Scranton. The president had a emotional and I think a symbolic moment. He had an opportunity as president to honor his uncle's service in uniform.
Pause it. So he honored his uncle emotionally by lying about him being eaten by cannibals? How does that honor Uncle Bosie? I don't know if he'd feel honored by you telling the world that he was eaten by cannibals in Papua New Guinea. That doesn't seem honorable to me. Necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, I guess. I guess you could be honored in that way. I'd just rather not be.
Rather not.
Yeah.
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
All right, here's more of what she had to say.
Had an opportunity to be there as president, to speak to the bravery of his uncle, and not just his uncle, but many U.S. service members that put their lives on the line.
He was a
on behalf
passenger
of his country.
in a plane.
So his uncle, who lost his life when the military aircraft he was on crashed in the Pacific after taking off near New Guinea. The president highlighted his uncle's story as he made the case for honoring our sacred commitment.
He did.
Equip
he lied.
Those we send to war and take care of them and their families when they come home. And as he iterated, the last thing American veterans are, or the last thing Americans should be called, are suckers and losers.
My gosh!
And,
that's
that
it.
is
That's
oh
it.
my gosh!
That's all this was. Come from a commander in
so
chief.
that's okay. Shut up.
Yep.
She perpetuated the Uncle Bosie lie with the lie about Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's how Joe.
Oh my gosh!
See, that's the only reason Joe told that story, if you recall, about Uncle Bosie was to lead up to the Trump lie, and she did the same thing there. That's the only reason they're talking about Uncle Bosie.
Oh my gosh!
I know they are the worst.
Oh my gosh! Whew. Despicable doesn't even begin to sum up what these people are, who they are, and what they're all about. Oh, jeez. But it was such a disastrous trip to Pennsylvania for Biden. The Republican Party compared the difference between Biden's trip to Pennsylvania and Trump's recent trip to the state. Take a look.
It's not like any random persuadable voter can just walk off the street and come. Everybody was very carefully screened.
Little different there.
When you drive around the area, you see a lot of Trump signs. Not very many Biden signs.
Cricket. Look at the Trump.
Wow.
I know.
They never found the body because there used to be a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea. I was in one of those 8x10 bathrooms, they have. I got a towel on me and shaving cream.
We will make America powerful again. And we will make America great again.
I made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa.
Don't
it's
move.
just not, anyway, I just...
I will prevent
So good.
World War III.
Are you ready to choose freedom over democracy? Because that's America.
People of Pennsylvania are going
Wow.
to tell Crooked Joe, you're fired. Get out. You're fired.
There you go. There's a little compare and contrast.
Yeah, that's a big difference right there. Wow. And it's so bad right now with this anti-Israel stuff. And he's feeding into it.
Yeah.
He's stoking that fire. So bad at Columbia University, they got a full-blown crisis going on there.
We got some video from out front there if you'd like to see that.
At Columbia?
Yep.
Yeah, let's show it.
Clip 23. Yeah, just peaceful protest, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah. Just,
Look how many cops it takes to get this situation under control, and it's still not under control.
Nope.
Wow.
And then you got, apparently one of the protesters, I don't know, was bumping up against one of the cops there, and then over here, he grabs for something that the cop is holding, and then it just spirals out of control. I don't know if we're going to have time to get, yeah, right here. He's like, all right,
Wow.
There you go. So, no, that's just a
So it's ugly.
Beautiful campus, college campus.
Apparently it's especially bad at Columbia right now.
Yes.
The anti-Semitism is just running rampant through that campus. Much more on the way. 888-933-93 is our number if you'd like to participate. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And thanks for joining us. Got some tweets here. Eric White Privileged tweets, I pledge allegiance to the United States of Ukraine. Yeah. Good for you, Eric. Woo! Thank you. Oliver Klosoff tweets, when should I expect one of those Ukraine lapel pins for sending the government $4,000 in taxes last week?
Oh, jeez.
Should be soon. Don't even get me started on taxes. Oh, my gosh. Oof.
No, you're not going to want to hear the clip we got coming up.
What a wonderful day last Monday was. Tamara B., the Democrats waving the Ukraine flag. That's how I celebrate money laundering.
No kidding.
Sarah the Roma, no point in voting in Maine. If you love cheating in elections, move to Maine. Trekkie Princess Steve, how many times did Biden check his watch at Uncle Bosie's memorial?
Oh, yes.
I'd like to know.
Yes.
From Bob Corona, are the fine young cannibals in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I didn't think so. No, they're not. But Foreigner is. Uh-huh. Fine Young Cannibals had a couple of good songs. Yeah, She Drives Me Crazy. What was the other one? There was another one, too. And then they just kind of went away.
Yeah, what was
Weird how that happens so often.
Good Thing.
Good Thing. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Over the weekend, we were talking about Joe Biden and how great a president he is, the fine things that he accomplished over the weekend and his trip to Pennsylvania, which was so memorable. He was out on that campaign trail, and he did promise to raise income taxes on everyone.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes, please do that.
Yeah!
I forgot, until this clip, I forgot that the Trump tax cuts were going to sunset after 2025.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Well, here he is, cut 9.
And he was proud, very proud of his $2 trillion tax cut when he was president that overwhelmingly benefited the wealthy,
I can't
the
take
biggest
it.
corporations.
Shut
and
up.
Exploded the federal debt. I cut the federal deficit.
Oh.
He exploded.
No. Look at, pause it. That should be a huge applause line if people buy into what he says, right? These are Democrats. He's talking to Democrats, people who should support him. That should be an explosion of applause. But they know he hasn't cut the deficit. He hasn't cut the budget. He hasn't cut anything. He's expanded it exponentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's more to this, right?
And everybody, every living human being who pays taxes got a tax cut under Donald Trump. Everybody did. Everybody.
Yeah. Is there more to this clip? Yeah,
I believe there is.
Play the
Play
rest
the
of
rest.
this. Yes, this is maddening.
By the way, there's no exaggeration here. It's going to expire. And if I'm reelected, it's going to stay expired.
Oh, good. Yeah, thanks for making sure that we have tax increases. Thank you. Because I'm not paying nearly enough.
And by the way, when the man says no exaggeration here, then there's an exaggeration there. Because he was referring to Trump and him and talking about how Joe cut the deficit. Okay, just so you know, if your tax rate before Trump was 39.6%, it fell to 37%. If it was 33%, that bracket fell to 32%.
All right.
If your tax burden before Trump was 28%, it fell to 24% thanks to Trump. 25% fell to 22%. 15 fell to 12. In other words, that's what it's going to go back
across
up
the freaking board.
Yeah, so a year and a half from now, if that senile old fart is in the White House or anybody with a D after their name, all those brackets I just said are going to go back to those. I had forgotten completely about that until I saw Whisper Freak on there talking about it on Friday. Oh, my gosh. So there you go. It's going to go up about 3% for everybody across the board. But you can make sure you give the power to Republicans because, as we have demonstrated, the Congress will be like, oh my gosh, how do we make them permanent now?
Yeah, they'll fix it.
Why is it that a tax decrease is sunsetted, a tax increase is never sunsetted?
Yeah, pretty much. That's about right. That pretty well sums it up.
Yeah, make sure that we can send more for Ukraine.
Let me just take 1 minute here and tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust, because for a homeowner who's buying or selling a home, man, I know you've discovered by now you've got a major undertaking on your hands. Almost nothing about getting a house ready to put on the market is easy or inexpensive, we're realizing, because you don't know exactly what to do to the house that you'll get your money out of, what not to do to it, how much should I just sell it as is? That's where a great realtor comes in. Real Estate Agents I Trust is where you find that great realtor, because they know the market, they know the buyers, they're with them all the time. They've got a lot in common with you. They're fans of the show. And so you're not going to get put together with some tax increase freak, somebody who loves Joe Biden and the fact that he's going to sunset our tax decrease. You don't want that, right? That's why we make sure they're fans of the show. So go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. We'll get you together with a great realtor so you can buy or sell or do both because you're relocating. RealestateAgentsITrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Meanwhile, Representative Pramila Jayapal said the quiet part out loud on Donald Trump and these ridiculous cases against him.
And, I go back to the responsibility of Congress here, because had the Senate actually gone through with the impeachment of Donald Trump, we would not be in this situation.
See, They're talking about the court cases against him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's great.
So wait, what does one have to do with the other? If he's a criminal, then you go through the process in court, right?
But no. Had they just gotten rid of him earlier, you wouldn't have to worry about this. And so it tells you it's all political.
Yep.
It's all political. They're doing this for their own purposes.
I swear. Oh, boy.
And
that's good.
Despite the daily assault on Trump by the courts and the press and Democrats in Congress, CNN admitted that people like Trump more than Biden.
This is viewed favorably across Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. In the 2020 exit polls, what do we see? 50% of voters view Joe Biden on average favorably in those states, compared to just 45% for Donald Trump. Look at the Joe Biden trend line where he is now. Joe Biden is far less liked than he was 4 years ago. Just 43% of voters now view Joe Biden favorably in these states. And Donald Trump, despite everything that has happened, is actually slightly more liked. 47% favorable rating. So this isn't just the lesser of two evils that's going on. The fact is that Donald Trump is, in fact, better liked than he was 4 years ago and is better liked than Joe Biden is right now in these battleground states. It's pretty gosh darn clear.
Yeah, it is pretty gosh darn clear.
I mean, so that was four battleground states. Biden's popularity has gone from 50 to 43. Trump's has gone from 45 to 47. Now, I don't disagree with those numbers, and it's because when you go after someone unjustly, then of course there's going to be sympathy. But I'm starting to think, and pay close attention to this, CNN wants Trump to win. They want Trump. I mean, he is their ratings magnet.
Yeah, it's good for their ratings. So that's
It's going to be interesting to see their coverage over the next 7 months.
Yeah. Won't it be? Because they normally wouldn't point that out.
Right. It's pretty gosh darn clear.
It's not make a point like that about it.
That's so funny.
NBC News had some interesting numbers, too.
Put this in some context here. These are other recent presidents at this point in their re-election campaigns. Where were their approval ratings? Again, you see Biden's 42%. One thing that jumps out, they were all higher than Joe Biden. The other thing, the two presidents on this list who did not win re-election, of course, Donald Trump 4 years ago, he was at 46%. And back in 1992, George H.W. Bush, he was at 43%. Biden below both of those. The last time Biden's been at this level, 46%, you got to go back to the start of 2023. The last time he was higher than that, you got to go back to the summer of 2021, his first year as president. So Biden has some work to do on that front.
You think?
Wow. So put that back up there for a second. So George H.W. Bush had a higher approval rating than Joe Biden. He had 43 to Biden's 42. Bush lost to Clinton 370 to 168. So in a normal world where normal voting rules apply, then
Joe Biden loses.
Gets crushed by Donald Trump. 370 to 168.
It's
roughly.
not even close.
Right.
So
got 100 more electoral votes than he needed with more popularity.
Interesting.
I tell you.
There are some people, though, who still love Joe. You know, the Kennedy clan, for instance, the whole family who endorsed Biden last week. Instead of their family member, Robert F. Kennedy. Here's the stupid video the family made.
Oh.
I'm Carrie Kennedy. Roy Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy Townsend.
Chris Kennedy. And I'm here to proudly endorse Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Our future is on the ballot in a way in which we haven't seen in generations.
The only way to win this election is for everybody to go out and vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
When I think of modern politicians in our country in this century, I think Joe Biden is the RFK of his generation.
Believes in democracy, believes in human rights, believes in the freedoms. This is a president who embodies the Kennedy legacy.
Death? Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. I thought he embodied death, like dead people. That's what he embodies. I mean, his body is almost literally dead at this point.
I don't think it's an almost at this point.
Wow. That is agonizing.
Is that going to qualify as a media buzzword?
Yes.
100%.
Joe Biden. First of all, can we not rent out a separate room where you can close the door? Because during that montage, you could hear just people partying and laughing.
My name is Joe Kennedy.
I'm Carrie Kennedy. Troy Kennedy.
Find a
Kathleen
quiet
Kennedy
room.
Townsend. Chris Kennedy.
And I'm here to proudly endorse Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
And this
Our future
voice
is on
thing,
the
this
ballot.
vocal
a
cord
couple of
thing.
them sound like they got the same problem RFK does.
The only way to win this election is for
listen to that.
everybody to
Interesting.
go out and vote for Joe Biden.
Wait, what the heck is going on?
Might be hereditary. I don't know.
I was going to say,
It must be.
There were two people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two very clear, possibly four.
Because, I mean, his vocal cords are paralyzed.
Right.
So I wonder
So that must be a trait that runs through the family, huh?
A curse in the Kennedy?
Very interesting. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Did you see Carrie Kennedy when she was on with Wolf Blitzer?
No.
Oh, you've got to see this. Let's listen to the background because there's a guy who does not like Joe Biden that got into this event, and that's all you can hear during this minute-long clip of him being dragged out of there. Listen to this.
Great leader for us. He stood with the United Auto Workers. He's a man we can trust and who carries forth Bobby Kennedy's values and John Kennedy's values.
As you know, Carrie, the Biden campaign is concerned that your brother will potentially take votes away from President Biden in some of the very key and close swing states. Are you concerned that your brother will play potentially a spoiler role in this election?
You know, I think we all know this is going to be a very,
That is the same problem. She has the exact same, but
listen to the guy screaming.
If everybody comes out and votes, that's the way Biden wins. So we need everybody to come and vote. Vote for President Biden. You vote for
Are they killing the guy?
That's a vote for Trump.
He's being murdered right
Look at
now.
Wolf.
Vote for Biden.
Wolf just keeps a poker face the whole time. He's just like,
That's some weird stuff.
That explains the whole Biden campaign. The entire clip, the voice, screaming, the nonsense.
Everybody to come and vote. Vote for President Biden. You vote for somebody else, that's a vote for
What is
awesome.
happening?
Vote for Biden.
Wolf Blitzer, man. I mean, he's not even like looking
Wow.
down or saying, trying to wrap it up. Like, let's get out of this. He's just like,
And you don't even acknowledge that kind of noise? Come on.
That was awesome.
Or his IFB is off and he doesn't listen to the guest because he doesn't care about the answer.
Well, that could be too.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Most emergencies come without a warning. And when next one comes, you won't have time to pack and prepare. And it's too late by the time it actually is on us. You need to get ready for an emergency right now before it strikes. Your supplies should be ready to grab and go right away. You can secure those supplies at my website, preparewithpat.com. Start with a 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply, helping millions of Americans prepare since 2008. My Patriot Supply is experts. They are experts in self-reliance. Their 4-week emergency food kits offer over 2,000 calories every day, protected by heavy-duty 4-layer packaging. These kits last up to 25 years in storage. They're sealed inside rugged, handled buckets. They're made to grab quickly and go when you need to. Go to preparewithpat.com. You'll save $50 per kit right now. They ship really fast and free in unmarked boxes so nobody knows that you're preparing, and they'll descend on your house when the time comes because they're not prepared. That's why they come, kind of incognito. Save $50 right now per kit at preparewithpat.com. Preparewithpat.com.
Pat Gray. Join the conversation. 888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed will be right back.
Tweets here. Anthony Osh tweets, the size of the Trump rallies means nothing when the Dems have had 4 years to further perfect stealing elections.
Oh, bro, I tell you, I got to send you guys something to look at here. These SOBs are going to steal Texas. I'll send you something.
All right.
Let you take a look at it.
Send me something.
Mm-hmm.
Bad engineer, never thought I'd see the day when the White House press secretary would get a question about the president's Uncle Bosie being eaten by cannibals.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this is going to be like, there's a record of this press conference.
Makes us very proud.
Yes.
Yeah. History will look upon us favorably. You know they will. Joe's Stabilizing Clown Shoes, Uncle Bosie and the Cannibals. Great band name.
Oh, fact. I like that.
Oh, man. So Bill Maher made news again this weekend. You know, I know we're going to get flack from people. Don't be fooled. He's not running for anything that I know of. So can we just pay credit where credit is due? And he is saying some really good things. And he's the only one on the left. Not the only one, but one of the main prominent members of the left who's been extremely left forever, who's actually being offended by what the left is doing now. He's actually noticing that they've gotten so extreme that they're just unsupportable. He was talking about how liberals refuse to even listen to those on the right. And in that context, he started discussing the NPR story that we've been talking about lately.
There's not a big effort on the left to understand what they are talking about, because I don't think it's insincere on their part. I think they think we're going to hell in a handcart.
Yeah, we are.
One reason I think that is because the story that came out this week about NPR. NPR is to them what this country would be if it was a permanent Democratic governorship. And if you missed the story on NPR, it's pretty interesting. A guy named Uri Berliner came out. He wrote it. He'd been there for a long time, 25 years. This guy, by the way, went to Sarah Lawrence and was raised by a lesbian peace activist. So he's
very, very Sean Hannity.
Very Sean Hannity. He was joking. He said, "I've been at NPR for 25 years. Here's how we lost America's trust." And it's just about how this place, which, you know, the show was called, the big show was called All Things Considered. It's not all things considered. He's not wrong. And he pointed out, for example, that of the 87 people working in editorial positions there, 87 are Democrats.
Right.
Even if you're a Democrat,
all of them,
you can't think this is good.
Wow. And yet many do. Many do think it's good. He also talked about the sexualizing of children by those on the left and how the new series about on Nickelodeon, Quiet on the Set.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Has been making waves. Here's
a lot of abuse of kids. Yeah,
a little bit of what Bill was saying about that.
So I don't know if this documentary is the talk of your town, but it is out here because it didn't just expose a dangerous workplace. It also exposed hypocrisy. Because it must be pointed out that when the evil governor of Florida was saying the exact same thing about kids and creepy stuff at Disney that liberals now find intolerable at Nickelodeon, he was dismissed as a hick and a bigot. But why would a kids' content factory like Disney be all that different than the one at Nickelodeon? A 2014 CNN report discovered that at least 35 Disney employees had been arrested for sex crimes against children, and in 2021, Disney child star Allison Stoner confessed she only narrowly survived the toddler to train wreck pipeline. The next year, child star Cole Sprouse told the New York Times that young actresses at the Disney Channel were heavily sexualized from an early age. You know, Willie Sutton said he robbed banks because that's where the money is. And the reason we find pedophiles in the Boy Scouts and the Rectory and kids' TV is that's where the kids are. DeSantis wasn't wrong. But we're so tribal now, the left will overlook if the guy from the wrong party calls it out.
Yeah. Wow. I don't care how you feel about Bill Maher.
Right.
That's
truth is truth.
Important. And he's telling the truth right now. He's telling the truth. That's fantastic. We'll have his entire rant coming up in overtime.
Gosh, it's so good.
It's like 8 minutes or so, right?
Yes.
He lets his fellow liberals have it. You're going to want to see that overtime today. BlazeTV.com. Use the promo code PATOriginals30. You get $30 off your Blaze TV subscription for the year. BlazeTV.com. Promo code originals for $30 off.
For years, we were talking about where are those on the left?
Yeah.
Where are our allies in this common? Can we not, get
agree on
united
something?
And clearly, on things like, sexualizing of children, we should be able. Everybody on the left should be like Bill Maher right now.
Absolutely. It's just common sense.
It sure is. I mean, didn't Glenn ask forever? Can we just find common ground on the Bill of Rights?
I know.
Bill of Rights.
On something.
Bill of Rights.
And I think with Bill Maher, you could. Mm-hmm. Okay, pedophilia, that's bad. Right? That's bad. Can we find common ground on that? Not with a lot of the left, we can't.
But it's
incredible.
They want us to argue about intricacies in policy.
Yeah.
Right? They keep us at each other's throats so that those in power can remain in power when we should be stepping back and looking at really serious stuff like you just said, pedophilia and the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. Couple of things we should be able to agree on with anybody. And I think we can with Bill Maher. I mean, that's a good place to start. Let's just start there and work our way out.
Yeah.
I think we can also find some common ground in $7 for one apple is too much to have to pay at the grocery store, isn't it? Did you see the influencer who was bitching about the apple she bought at Whole Foods? $7.
Unbelievable.
For one apple.
Wait, what town is this Whole Foods in?
Boston.
Uh-huh.
Boston, Massachusetts. But
I've
seen the same prices here
really?
In South Lake, Texas. I think it's $3.99 a pound for these organic. Yes, they're specialty apples. They're good apples. This is sugar bee organic apples, but they're $3.99 a pound. So if you get a pound and a half apple, you're going to pay $7 for it.
Wow. That better be the sweetest.
That's what she said. That's what she said. She actually did say exactly that. This better be the best effing apple I've ever tasted. Yeah, it better be.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, wow. Did you see this study on gender research from the Netherlands? Oh, my. Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
This research indicates most children who suffer or struggle with gender identity ultimately no longer experience those feelings once they reach adulthood. So the study followed more than 2,700 individuals. So it's not like this is a tiny 2,700 from their preteen years into their mid-20s. 15 years they followed these kids. And what did they find? You better be careful when it comes to this gender transition stuff. It was published in the journal Archives of Sexual Behavior. Represents one of the most extensive explorations into how kids' gender identities evolve over time. So it went from 11% of 10-year-olds, 11% struggled with some kind of gender identity issue. By age 25, that number was 4%. 4. So if that's 7% who decided, gosh, I think I'm okay. I'm okay being a girl or a boy. If you already transitioned them to something else by the time they're 25, then what happens? Then you've screwed up their lives for the rest of their lives. You've either given them puberty blockers, stunted their growth, messed with their hormones, screwed up their cycles, whatever. Or you've even done surgery in some cases, and now you're really screwed.
Yeah, and so when these kids, as adults, mentally get to that point where they go, they assess what they've been through and what they've done to themselves, like you just said, it's too late.
Too late now.
And where was this crazy story?
Never going to be the same.
This was out of a crazy red state, far-right conservative area?
Yeah, called the Netherlands. Yeah. They were trying to find the opposite there.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this was even conservative on the conservative side of how many of these people experience these problems later in life.
Gosh, leave the kids alone.
Leave them alone.
And that's good that this study began, like you said, 15 years ago, before all of the madness was in full force of cutting up kids.
But that's why we've got so little of this research. That's why this is an amazing study, because, it's a pretty recent phenomenon that we're bending over backwards and trying to make everything okay for transgender people when it was considered a mental illness, and you dealt with it like that. So I'm kind of surprised that 15 years ago anybody started this survey. That's amazing.
Yeah, and you've got the video we played last week from Vice News following the story of Max, who wants to become a boy. The girl wants to become a boy at Boston Children's Hospital.
Right.
And the doctors are like, well, we think this, and we're expecting this and that, and blah, blah.
And the kid's 9, by the way.
Kid's a guinea pig.
9 years old.
Yeah.
And they don't know if this kid is going to feel the same way 5 years, 10 years from now. They have no idea.
Everybody involved with that, parents included, should be behind
physicians,
bars.
Yeah. Yep.
They shouldn't be allowed to
tragic.
practice.
It's really, really tragic.
Do it to adults all you want. Leave the kids alone. How is that so difficult? That's exactly what Bill Maher was just saying.
Yes, right. Why? Because we can find common ground on that. Leave kids alone. As much as I hate the song, hey, morons, leave them kids alone. Jeez. All right. Also, New York environmentalists have a new target. They've gone after washing machines, salt, soda. They've gone after just about everything you possibly can, and now they're on to individually wrapped cheese.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Good grief. Just when you think, have we covered everything yet? Nope.
Nope. We haven't gotten rid of individually wrapped cheese slices yet.
So what's the answer? Tell me. Just you go and buy a block?
I guess so.
This is the stupidest thing.
Can you wrap that block, though, so it doesn't get moldy? No, you can't.
Wait, because that would have, that'd be plastic, right?
Yeah, that'd be bad. So the state bill is called the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act.
Oh, my gosh. What does that spell out? What is it again?
PREA, the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act. Should have come up with something a little snappier than that. It would require companies with net incomes over $1 million who sell or distribute food or products to reduce plastic and other packaging that ends in landfills or waterways by over 50% over the next 12 years. It would also impose a fee on companies that use plastic packages.
There we go.
With money going toward recycling programs and infrastructure.
There it is.
Lining the pockets of some of these
it's a money grab.
Buffoons.
Has nothing to do with Mother Earth. It's a money grab.
Yep. Oh, by the way, is today Earth Day?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Today's Earth Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Woo.
Yay.
Yeah.
Happy Earth Day, everyone.
I can't wait to not. All right.
Nice.
That's good.
All right, good.
That's a good song for Earth Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've got a feel-good video, speaking of these eco-warriors, if you want that.
Okay.
So Lisa Murkowski, she sucks as a senator, but Chevron, Big Oil, was giving her an award at an event.
Really?
Yeah, and they were like, you're like a hero or something for Big Oil.
Lisa Murkowski?
Yeah.
All right.
And so while she's on stage to receive this award the other day, a bunch of eco protesters get up there, and then the big fail is, well, you'll see what happens to them. They go tumbling off the stage together in a big heap. Look at this. Eco freaks. That's what we are. Eco freaks. Oh boy. Oh my. You gotta hate that. You hate to see it. Put it back
Not
up.
Really. I really don't.
Put that back up there for just a second, if you would, Joe, and just freeze it about 2 seconds in.
That's awesome.
Because here we go. Just let's start it up here. Okay, Lisa Murkowski. You see the guy standing on the ground on the floor there?
Yeah.
Straight behind him in like the dark blue. That's Lisa Murkowski. She's nowhere involved. These are all the protesters taking a tumble. Now you can play it. I mean, this is just so good. I love to see them fail.
And nope. Oh boy.
This is maybe a couple security
down
people.
Oh no.
And
that's got to hurt.
Protesters.
That's got to hurt everybody.
I love it.
That is a feel-good video.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Glad you enjoyed it. That's how we celebrate Earth
great.
Day here at The Blaze.
And you're welcome. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Speaking of fabulous senators, Elizabeth Warren is mad right now at Apple and iPhones. So darn it. I hate her. I don't hate her. I hate her getting mad. I hate that she has to get mad at Apple and iPhones, because here she is talking about it.
Green texts on iPhones, they're ruining relationships.
Green texts are
non-iPhone users everywhere are being excluded from group texts, from sports teams chats to birthday chats to vacation plan chats. They're getting cut out. Missing out on plans and conversations. And who's to blame here?
What?
Apple. That's just one of the dirty tactics that Apple uses to keep a stranglehold on the smartphone market. Apple has
Which
used
they don't
its
have, by the
monopoly
way.
on smartphones to lock Americans into services and amass billions of dollars in profits.
This is unreal.
It is.
Apple even takes a cut every time you use Tap to Pay and has blocked a new app
because they
that would have
invented
let
it.
Android users finally use iMessage and get those blue texts. That's why last month the Department of Justice sued Apple for its broad-based exclusionary conduct. And that's the right thing to do.
No.
It's time to break
it's
up
not.
Apple's monopoly now.
No, you can't just take away their competitive edge.
No, it's 50.
They invented the iPhone.
Yeah.
You know who the number one iPhone company on this planet is right now? Samsung. They just passed Apple. So
wait a minute. You talking about smartphone
so much
company?
for
biggest smartphone.
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw 5842 Apple over Android.
I saw Samsung took the lead. I just read that late last week.
Incredible. So what is she doing?
What are you talking about?
This is all about people that the green text that come through. Now this is actually funny because Chris Cruz has in the past
refused to text you because you're green bubble.
Because I was green. So you probably like this, though.
I do love this. I agree.
Gosh.
I don't want you in my blue bubble. You green bubble. Why would I take a lesser device in my phone contacts than you?
Why?
Listen to this.
Do you have iPhone?
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. And it's a
The reason is because they created this product, and so those users are all included.
Yes.
If you want to be included, get an Apple.
Get an Apple.
Don't get a Samsung.
Thank you.
Well, I need the government.
It's just that easy.
I need the government to put their foot down and say nobody's
hey,
responding
you can't be
to
any different than any other company out there. All of your things have to be available to everybody. Doesn't even make sense.
You know what this is? I'll
what
tell
are
you
you
what this
talking
is.
about?
This is just a bunch of Elizabeth Warren staffers sitting around
they're pissed.
joking and being like, yeah, well, I can't communicate with all of the staff, you people with Android. And then she's like, there needs to be a bill.
Yeah.
Department of Justice needs to go
we need
after
to step in on that.
Oh, would you stop?
Wow.
Because, there's nothing bad going on in the world or this country that needs more attention than break up Apple for having the exact same market share as Android. It just...
Yeah, even if it is 52-48, that's not... You're not... Yes, you got a somewhat larger share, but that's not a monopoly.
At least the border's secure.
You're almost 50-50. You're 4% ahead.
58,
Come on.
42. Yeah,
it was 58-42?
It doesn't even
matter.
matter.
I thought you said it was 52-48.
Right. It could be 90-10. I don't care. It's like, could you please lock down the border? Stop spending our money. Stop with these student loan bailouts. The real cost of those is insane. You could do this forever on a number of issues. But no, we're going to worry about the Apple iPhone and people that green texts are being excluded from the group and conversations. Shut up, you.
Wow.
It's dumb.
The government's got to get their fat face into everything. Everything. The tap thing, did they not invent that technology? Yeah. It's
Apple Pay, yeah.
Yeah, Apple Pay. So... Of course. They're not going to make that available to everybody.
It's in the name. Apple Pay.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Isn't that the same thing as Visa takes a cut of whatever every time we swipe? Isn't that the same? Could she say, hey, Visa should not charge, point of a cent? It's the same thing.
Yeah, look at here's the story. Samsung Electronics has overtaken Apple as the world's top smartphone provider in the first quarter of this year.
There you go.
For the first time ever, Samsung passed Apple. So come on now.
So if you wanted to even the monopoly case.
Right, you can't.
You can't even do that.
You can't even make that case.
My word, shut up.
And who was it? It was Steve Jobs was so pissed at Google. He wanted to use, I think he said he was willing to use $40 billion of his own money to destroy Google. And it was because they took some proprietary technology from Apple. Was it the touch screen? Something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But they actually stole it from Apple, and he was really pissed about it and wanted to destroy them as a result. And now they've got the monopoly, and you're trying to take away any sort of uniqueness from them, that they have to provide it to everybody.
I think here's the quote. I don't know that it was a specific item. I think it was just the iPhone Android itself.
Yeah.
Quote, I will spend my last dying breath if I need to, and I will spend every penny of Apple's $40 billion in the bank to right this wrong. I'm going to destroy Android because it's a stolen product. I'm willing to go thermonuclear war on this.
Okay, so it was the product in general.
Yeah.
He wanted to have the complete monopoly on the phone itself, on the smartphone, which, they invented it.
Yeah.
Hard to blame him for that.
Wow.
I'd want that too. But I think they're doing okay.
They'll be okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. What are they? Somewhere between $2 and $3 trillion in valuation?
I mean, a
lot.
They're
worth a lot.
That reminds me of, it's almost as dumb as the argument that we should sue Apple because the iPhone is too addictive of a product.
Yeah, come on now. Come on. Well, they wanted to do the same thing to McDonald's because kids like it too much. So we're gonna stop them from advertising on Saturdays because that's when kids watch TV the most, because we don't want kids to like their product. It's their job to make kids like the product.
I mean, is that not the progressive governance model?
Yes, it is.
You will do what we say to the degree to which we allow it.
Right.
But then if it becomes a point...
If it's too much.
If it's too much and somebody's too successful from it, then we're going to lock... Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. It's capitalism. Of course you want to make your product as desirable as possible and as unique as possible so everybody buys your product.
And of course, Elizabeth Warren cannot let that stand. Capitalism being successful.
I mean, I want to make Kexi cookies better than any cookie on the planet, and we did.
Did.
I just wish it was the only cookie you could possibly eat. Then you'd have to come to us.
Right, and if your company becomes too successful, then you're going to see that video in just a couple of weeks when you do obtain that kind of level of dominance in the market.
Yes.
And Elizabeth Warren is going to be like, Keebler elves are out on the street because Kexi is too successful.
Yes.
Have you seen this? Oh my gosh. This analogy could get out of control. Trees are knocked down, and then Keebler elves are homeless, and then they can't make cookies and whatnot, and Kexi is a monopoly, break them up.
And then I'd be talking about, have you seen how many tree and forest fires Keebler has started because their stupid elves leave the oven on when they leave?
Oh.
Keebler has burned down entire forests.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. They've burned down entire forests because they leave the oven on.
Where else are you going to get, dear listener, dear viewer, this kind of information?
And I guarantee you will not get the Keebler scenario anywhere else.
Now,
I guarantee it.
Nobody wants a forest fire to go raging across the United States of America, but there are people in this audience right now who are like, I can't wait for when that news breaks this summer, because that's what I'm going to talk about in the water cooler. You know who did this, right?
Keebler. Freaking elves. Sometimes they try to turn it off, but they're too short. They can't get to the...
Is that what it is?
Yeah. They can't get to the controls on the oven, and so they can't turn it off. So it just burns all night long.
So next time there's a fire, You can say.
Next time there's a forest fire.
What were the Keebler? What did the Keebler elves know, and when did they know it?
Yep. They're in that hollow tree, causing problems.
Oh, pyromaniacs, what they are.
Meanwhile, we're making beautiful Mother's Day boxes filled with delicious cookies. Chocolate chip, blueberry lemon. Have you had the blueberry lemon yet?
I don't think so. Oh, is that with 3 little blueberries on top?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
delicious.
really good.
Yeah, the Keebler elves ain't doing that, I'll tell you.
Oh, they're not.
Also in this Mother's Day box, the chocolate coconut, the chocolate caramel pecan, horchata. That's based on a Mexican beverage. You must know about that, Chris, right?
Not Mexican, but I do know it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Same thing.
True.
Cherry Garcia packed with real cherries, dipped in our gourmet chocolate.
Oh, the cherry. That is the most eaten ice cream, so I bet it's going to be really good. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, go to Kexi.com, get the Mother's Day box. It's available today. All right. Let me tell you about the Jace case, too, because just like back during the pandemic, we've got some medical and drug shortages going on right now, and you don't want to be caught up in that. That's why you need the Jace case. As of March, there were 200 drug shortages right now. And it looks like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. So order one of these. Healthcare experts have pointed to shortages in domestic production, the Drug Supply Chain Security Act, and those are trends to watch this year that are going to make things difficult to obtain sometimes. You wouldn't think that would happen here, but it's happening right now. So the Jace case allows you to have these 5 antibiotics on hand in case anything happens. Life-saving antibiotics that are at your disposal. You could do add-ons, too, like ivermectin and EpiPens. Please go to the Jace case. Make sure you're prepared. JASE Medical, JaceMedical.com. Use the promo code PAT to save at checkout. Jace Medical, JASE, JaceMedical.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Earlier, we played the pro-Hamas supporters clashing with police at Columbia. Now at another Ivy League university, Yale. Check this out.
Yeah, do we have the image, the side-by-side of...
Nazi Germany, 1938.
Yep.
Yale University, 2024.
Yeah, look at them. We got Hamas holes blocking Jewish students from entrance into this building. But everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Don't worry about it. Unreal. Again, what I saw last week from the Israeli Consulate General in this building, they showed the 46-minute tape of these Hamas terrorists murdering innocent Jews in Israel on October 7th. It should be required viewing for these little idiots at these college campuses all across the country, but especially in the Ivy League. 1/3 of Gen Zers believe Israel doesn't have the right to exist as a country. 1/3 of them. Nearly half of Gen Z voters say the campaign against Hamas is unjust.
Oh, okay.
I challenge you to watch that video and then tell me that. Israel should not stop for 1 second until Hamas is destroyed. There should be no pause, no breather. Don't allow them to restock, for Iran to start getting them more weapons and missiles and whatever else they're using. Keep going until they're all dead.
Do the world a favor.
Man. It's unconscionable. It's unbelievable. The support that Hamas has in the Western Hemisphere, where I can't even relate to their mindset. I don't know how these college kids are relating to it. It doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Can you believe in the same country that 23 years ago that was attacked by Islamo-fascists?
Yeah.
In that same city.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that same city, they're rallying in support of bloodthirsty terrorists.
Right. Right. And can you imagine if this backlash against Jews was going on with Muslims? the Islamophobia that we'd be hearing about every second of every day. It would lead every single newscast on every single channel, probably including Fox. They would be talking about Islamophobia until blood was spewing from your eyes. It would be the worst thing that has ever occurred in this country. Look at these college students that are attacking these Muslims or keeping them from going to class. This kind of hatred is unacceptable. There is no place for it on any college campus in America. That's what they'd be saying. Instead, what are you hearing right now from these college campuses? That's what you're hearing. Crickets. You're hearing nothing.
Yeah.
They're barely mentioning it. And like the New York Times, where are they on the Columbia thing? Where are you? Yep. On a local college like that, and you're just ignoring it. Just ignoring it.
I do think that the president of Columbia did come out and say something, though. He was...
is he pissed?
Yeah,
Is he animated?
Yeah.
He or she? I don't even... I don't know who the president of Columbia is, but...
Yeah, he orders... okay. He orders virtual classes as anti-Israel protests take
so
over.
You can go to school at home.
Quote, we need a reset.
Oh,
you need more than that.
Man. No kidding.
How many of those students are going to have their tuitions paid for by you, the taxpayer, as well?
Many. All.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.